Good morning. Welcome to Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead. It was quite a night for me last night. Actually, I had a wonderful day yesterday, and it won't be long. I'm going to sit down, take time, and tell you all about it. We started out with taking our last of our cows were at the sale, and Cowboy and I decided to go ahead and go to the sale. And so the day was a nice day, good day, but it just went from good to better to beautiful. And I want to just share that little bit with you. It will be a little bit later. Right now, Cowboy needs his breakfast. I need some breakfast. I've got some floors to get cleaned up. We have more kids coming today for another early Christmas. So just wanted to pop on and let you know that we love everybody. We thank you for all the good comments and for popping on and joining us here on the homestead. So I'll be back soon. So we decided our breakfast was going to be bacon and a pancake and a farm fresh egg, of course, before we get our day going here on the homestead. This is our main heat. This is our wood stove that we cook on all winter. It heats our whole house. I'm going to slide this over so I can add some more wood. But it is our main heat. And while it's burning every day, all day, I use it to cook on. We hardly ever use our propane heat in the winter time. Once in a blue moon, it will kick on early morning if it's really cold outside. And we'll get up and get this stove going again, and it might only kick on once or twice. So for the majority of the time, this is our wood heat. I've had this old stove for 35 plus years now, and it is our main heat and our main cooking all winter long here in Montana. Our Montana weather right now is in the 40s, 50s coming up this weekend, so we can't complain. But I gotta get this breakfast going so Cowboy and I can eat and get our day going before the kids come again. So our bacon is almost done. My griddle's getting hot. And I need to go find some eggs. It's breakfast time around this camp. So I wanted to share just a little bit about how I became Prairie Girl and Cowboy's Cowboy. We'll just start way back when I was a kid. I was raised on the Montana prairie. That's where I was at. Montana prairies, rolling hills. You know, if you found a tree, it was a cottonwood tree, maybe alone standing or a couple around a reservoir or a pond. No pine trees. And that's where I was born. That's where I was raised as a kid, was on the prairies of Montana. So I've always been a prairie girl. And so that's where that started. Cowboy has always been a Montana cowboy from day one. He has rode a lot of horses. He's had a lot of cattle off and on. He's done a lot of calving, a lot of haying, a lot of hard work. And when him and I got together, he was living in the rougher part of Montana, which is really close to like the Missouri River breaks. If you know Montana at all, it's pretty rough country, steep, lot of pine trees. And this old prairie girl was used to riding her horse on the prairie and the rolling hills. No, none of this straight down or straight up or your horse is sliding down the hill and the mountain. So when I got with him and we would be out chasing cattle, and yes, I did ride horse. I have to say, I think in my day and age now, I probably won't ride a horse again. I just have no strength to pull myself up on a horse anymore, but for years I did. I rode from a kid on, I rode horse. They had to be tame horses. I was not what you call cowgirl, break 'em, bronc 'em, ride 'em, whatever. But I always had a tame horse. When I was growing up, I had a gray mare that I rode a lot, and she was a very special mare and very trustworthy. And throughout the years, I've rode different ones, and some I liked, some I didn't, some I didn't feel safe on. But if I didn't feel safe, I didn't ride it very long. I would get off and can't do this one. This one's going to dump me. And I wasn't going to have that happen. There was one time, and he didn't buck me, but we were working cattle in a corral, and it was slick, and I was helping run cows up the chute for preg testing, I believe it was. And it was icy, and just going back to gather a few more in the big corral and going down, and it was a little bit of a slope. My horse was an older horse. He was a big gelding at the time that I was riding, and he lost his footing, and he went and threw me off. He didn't buck, but I went off. And he was trying to catch his footing, and all I could see laying on the ground were his feet trying to catch his own footing. And so I remember that time it hurt. I couldn't get back on. They had to help me walk. I had a hard time. I really hurt my backside or my hips. I can't remember. But since then, yes, I have rode out in the hills where we were ranching. I did ride. I had a special little horse that was Cowboy's nephew's horse, and I rode that horse, and I enjoyed riding that horse. Most days it was perfect. Some days you would feel the tension in her if it was a cool morning, or if you had a herd of elk coming up over the hill behind you, you felt her. But I enjoyed that little horse a lot. So that actually was probably my last horse. No, I had one more after that, and he actually had to be put down last winter. So I've had different horses throughout, but like I said, I was raised on the prairie, so it was none of this steep, rough, rugged country, and I was not used to that. My cowboy was. So we'd be out trying to round up and gather cattle, and it would be rough, and I'd start to follow him, and I'm like, you just go. I'm going to find my own way down. I'm going to find my own way back up out of here. And it took me a long time to get comfortable riding in that rough, rugged stuff. But for him, he was a cowboy. He'd fly off of him like the man from Snowy River. It didn't faze him because he was around him so much. And so that was probably how we got stuck with Prairie Girl and Cowboy Homestead to start with. That was our life. That's been our life, is raise cattle, raise hay, put up hay, feed cows, calve out in the spring, and start all over again. And feed all winter. So that's just been our life. And now Cowboy and I are trying very hard to retire without retiring. You don't want to quit. You don't want to stop at all. But we are wanting to slow way down. So for the winter time, you're not going to see a whole lot extra going on around here because we're going to enjoy our winter. And you got to see that our cattle went to market, our calves, our cows, our bulls this last week. So we still have, I think, we counted up, I think he counted 10 cows, that's with jerseys and some oddballs, and his horses, my goats, and our chickens, and the 3 donkeys, or 4 donkeys right now. And so that's what we have left on our homestead. We're ready to enjoy the winter, kick back, take it easier. Cowboy's shoulder is really wore out. At one point he's had surgery on it, and I don't know, he needs some more attention on it. He's having a hard time lifting it up, and that really bothers him. He has a lot of trouble with his acid reflux, so we've changed our eating habits to where we cut off a lot earlier in the evening for the most part. He's kind of figured out what he can eat and what time to stop eating in the evening. My hands are getting crooked, just like my mom's. I'm losing all the strength in my hands. It's so frustrating to get older. I know I couldn't pull myself up on a horse anymore. It would be very hard. I would have to have a step ladder to get back up on a horse, let alone get my leg up over. But I'm just, really struggling. My mom had bad arthritis, and I'm really struggling with arthritis now. And so the easier we can get things on our homestead, I think we're going to be a lot happier. So that's why we're working so hard the last year and a half, trying to get this homestead all set up. We've been here a year and a half, and there was nothing here. So we've been working very hard getting set up so that as we get older, all we need to really do is grow our garden. And yes, we did grow a really big garden last summer for the two of us. And for the most part, it did really good. We did end up with a lot of bugs that were damaging. And towards the end of the year, I'm seeing the moles moving in. So I'm really worried about next year's garden and how that's going to be. But that's where we are wanting to be on our homestead is, we're the older generation now. All you young ones out there now on YouTube and around, the ones that aren't on YouTube, that are working your butts off for this lifestyle, my hat's off to you. It's hard work. It's rewarding work. But it's a good life. So I'm going to stop right here. I'm going to finish up our breakfast, and we will chat again later. Our bacon looks a little extra crispy maybe today. Maybe because I was on the camera too long. You think? I love bacon any old way. Do you all keep your bacon grease? Let me know in the comments. I never throw out bacon grease. I use it, I cool it down, and then I'll put it in a jar. And we use it all the time for cooking. If I'm frying meat, if I'm frying potatoes, that is liquid gold. You do not want to throw it out. It's awesome. And you've always got some grease to cook with. You just as well use it. It's not going to be a whole lot different than butter and shortening. Well, it's way better than shortening. So don't waste that good bacon grease. So my bacon is done. My pancake griddle is warming up now on the cook stove, as well as a pan for some eggs. And Cowboy's still out feeding for right now. So I thought I would just explain our week this week. I have to say it's probably kind of a bittersweet, and probably more so for Cowboy than myself. Cowboy has raised cattle all his life. He's raised hay all of his life. And this summer was the first summer that we did not raise any hay or put up any hay. So that alone was a big change after all those years for Cowboy. And he's always had the cattle. So taking all of our last of our cows to market this week, our cows, we took 20 cows, a couple of bulls, our calves, and for me, it was a relief because I know that my help for him is getting harder. It's just, I'm not as agile, I'm not as quick. I don't trust some of those old cows in the corral anymore, and I'm worried about him because of his shoulder. He can't get out of the way as quick as he used to, and so for me, it was a good thing to get rid of our cattle. I'm sure in Cowboy's heart and mind, it was a little harder for him. And I'm not saying he's going to be completely done, because we still have a good probably 10 cows mixed with the Jerseys and some different ones that we just kept here on the homestead to raise for our own meat and to sell a few calves. So we've really cut back, but the majority now is finally gone. That 20 that we held on to for the last few years have been the last of our bigger herds in the past. So I'm sure letting those cows go was hard for him, but I think he knows too that it's just getting harder, and he definitely needs to have a break and have a rest. And he still needs projects. We all need projects, and I'm sure we will keep going that way. But it had to be kind of hard for him. I thought of him yesterday as we sat in the sales barn, and we did go yesterday just to watch our cattle sell, and that was kind of fun. We ended up having breakfast early with friends, but then we drove down to the sale and sat and watched the sale. And before we left, we stopped into the little cafe, which is right there in the livestock yards, and had a piece of pie together and took a little different route home. So we had a very good little day together. And gosh darn, I've never had coconut chocolate pudding before. Cowboy had blueberry vanilla, and the combinations were so good. So we enjoyed our cup of coffee after the sale and watching our cows. And so it's just one more step. You know, we are getting to be the older generations of the farmer rancher. And there's so many of you on here that are just starting. My hat's off to you all and your families, because I know what it entails and how much work it is. And you think you've got it all figured out to go somewhere a day, and something happens, the cows get out, something gets hurt, something gets stuck, something breaks, and your plans are completely changed. Been there. I could write a book on so many times. So Prairie Girl and Cowboy, our life is about to change into the next stage of our lives. And you all get to kind of join in and follow us right here and on our Prairie Girl page. Don't forget to pop over to my Facebook page, because there's more pictures there that I take with my camera. It's Facebook, and it's called Prairie Girl Farm. And join us there. There's some really good folks over there. So anyway, I'm going to go about our breakfast here, and I'm going to get back on here hopefully a little bit later and tell you about the rest of our day yesterday. It was pretty cool. Okay, folks, I'm back to try to finish up my little video today, because the kids are on their way, and I'm going to be busy in the kitchen again and getting these floors done up. But I did want to tell you how my day ended yesterday. It was amazing. Like always, you know, we were at the cattle sale. We came home. Cowboy headed out to gather eggs and feed the goats for me. And he said, you go in, start the cook stove, warm the house. So I did. And we both got in our comfy clothes like we normally do in the evening. And we sat down in recliners. And Cowboy is a reader. He loves to read his Western pocketbooks. And I love to get on and check on you folks all, and try to comment when my phone service will allow me, which is sometimes lately not very good. I had my cup of coffee, I had me a cookie, I had my tablet. I thought I had everything, a couple of magazines sitting by my chair for the night. Well, there was one thing I didn't have on my chair that I really needed, was a box of Kleenexes. And anyway, one of my Monday night routines is to pop on and watch Zach and Jen on the Stiver homestead. That's just how I found the kids is beyond me. A year ago, if you'd have said, are you on YouTube? I'd have said, what's YouTube? I didn't know. I barely can get on Facebook. And I've taught what I know, so it's not very much, because I don't have the little kids hanging around to teach Nana or Grandma how to do all this stuff. So what I've figured out has been on my own. So anyway, YouTube to me a year ago, I had no really clue what it was, let alone when I did find a family on here that I started following. And I want to say it was Danny and Wanda to start with on Deep South Homestead. And, you know, it said to subscribe and click. And
Well, to me, subscribe was a subscription that I had to pay for, and I didn't feel like I could do that because Cowboy and I are on a fixed income, and a cowboy doesn't have very much of a retirement. So, I got to let some things go. So I'm like, well, I'll just go and always find a video and watch them and go from there. Well, little did I know that you could click subscribe and you could click the notification button bell and you would get all these videos when they're freshly coming on and a notification, then you can pop on and watch them. And to me, that has been so much fun. You can't imagine for this girl to find YouTube and all you homestead families. And someday I'm going to mention a lot of you homestead families on my YouTube, maybe the day I do my Christmas cards, because I've found so many, and so many I'm still finding and trying to find the time to sit down and get to know you through YouTube. Anyway, YouTube. Let's get back to it. I thought I had everything in my chair last night and I sat down, but like I said, I needed a box of Kleenexes because Jen and Zach were live on the Stivers homestead and I'm watching, listening, I'm drinking my coffee and just enjoying. That's what I do. And Jen starts talking about her homestead mama. And when she mentioned Prairie Girl and Cowboy, oh my gosh, did the tears start to flow. And both her and Zach, they touched our hearts and they had so many nice things to say about us. And they know us just through what little I comment on their page. And my Facebook page is Prairie Girl Farm. So go find that if you can, please. That would be great. And click like on that. But these kids, they just tickle my heart. And they're two little kids. I love them. Grandma Carrie, I love you too. And I feel like I know them. And I know that it's harder on the other end because you've got so many people following you that it's so hard to keep up. But kids, no, you are in my heart. You're in my prayer, just right along with my kids. So you're right up there, you know? So everything that they were saying, I couldn't even read comments. I could not read as they're talking and saying all this stuff about us. It blessed my heart beyond compare. So I've got tears rushing out my eyes and I can't read anything. And finally I go get a Kleenex and then I had to go back and replay it. So I started all over again. And anyway, I'm still in high heaven today. And I want to thank you kids so much for that. It touched my heart more than anything in the world to know that our simple little life, and I would never have dreamt would be interesting to anybody because it's just what we've done all our life. It's the life we live. We don't know any other life. And like I've told you in the past, we're both slowing down. And so, it's not as probably as exciting to follow now as it would have been even years past, but we are slowing down. We still get a lot accomplished. But anyway, before I lose my phone, my battery is blinking, I can see. Zach and Jen, love you kids. And a week ago, they put me on as a moderator. Okay. Somebody's got to show me how to be a moderator. So don't ever just leave me hanging alone with me being the only moderator because I ain't going to know how to grab the troll by the neck and kick his butt off of the chat. So woo, but that was exciting to see my name was moderator and the little wrench behind it. And so I need to figure that out, how to be a moderator. I can go, hey guys, thumbs up, and I can keep commenting. But as far as taking care of those nasty trolls, I don't know what I'm doing yet. So that's just another part of this Nana Grandma thing that I'm going to have to learn, or somebody's going to have to teach me. But I love that you made me a moderator. Anybody can make me a moderator, but just don't count on me because I don't know what I'm doing, what the heck I'm doing. So, but I'm just tickled pink to be a part of everybody's homesteads and their lives and their pages. And oh, I could go on. I've got such a list of those families and folks that I love watching. And that has gotten to be a big part of my life. And when I played that to Larry last night, my cowboy, I said, this is why I love this YouTube. I said it's a family. It's a big family. And I want to thank everybody for all the nice comments that you give all the time. And it's not for everybody to follow, I'm sure, because I'm just country folk and I say things wrong and I don't pronounce things right and I just don't do things right. I do them my way, and that's the way this comes out. But I am having a blast. So I will be pegged, yeah, homesteading mama, whatever. I'll take it, and I'll be proud to own that title. So Zach and Jen, love you guys. Hang in there. You guys are doing great. Think of you every day. You're just on my mind, and I got to check to see if you got a new video. So, folks, I've got to get going. I want to get this video downloaded and out to you today. And I'll be busy for the next couple days with family again. And so bear with me. Christmas is a busy time for us right now, early, and we're just soaking in the moments, the minutes, enjoying each of the kids as they come and share and spend time with us. And so I'm going to just end this right here now, and love everybody. Thanks for popping in and sharing my video with me and my little chats with Cowboy and I. And I'm going to get Cowboy used to it a little more. He's going to be 70 in the spring, so he's just not quite sure what to do in front of a camera, but he let me sneak and take his picture, did you notice, this morning at the breakfast table. So give him time. He might break loose and give us a smile or a chat eventually, but he's here. He's here all the time, and he's right there with me, and he's my best partner the good Lord has given me, and God's blessed us both. And he's God blessed us with all of you folks out there. I'm pretty amazed. And I'm so thankful that I found you all. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas. Take care. I will be back soon. Bye-bye.